Seems a little out of focus this morning. Hey, Arduino's back. Are we out of focus or what? Am I out of focus or is it my glasses? Weird. G'day, Grant. I'm trying to work out whether... Maybe it's just my glasses. It's my glasses are dirty. I thought I was out of focus. Realised my glasses are dirty. G'day, Reese. Missed you yesterday, mate. Now I've got your link somewhere in Twitter, I think. I thought we'd use a hashtag because I found the last couple of times I've done this, I've been wanting to drop some links for people to click on and stuff to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to use the hashtag SEO audit and use... Oh, okay, cool. We'll do that one first. I'm just going to use the Twitter as a back channel, if you like. So, but we'll do Arduinos first. I haven't yet played with Arduinos. I intend to make a lot of... And Mr. Cycling World. Okay, so we've got 2 already. Excellent. Let's get cracking. If we get time, drop your URL in and we'll see. I'm going to go straight through and record the show after this. Mustn't forget to put my microphones on though, so I shall do that now. Not that I'm using them for this, but I am using them for the show. Okay, Arduino basics. Blogspot.com. Let's go and have a look. Already, the fact that you're on a hosted platform, you're kind of a little bit behind the 8 ball already once you, like on blogspot.com. But let's have a look. Arduino basics.blogspot.com. That's true. Okay. Arduino. Huh. I didn't know you could do that with Arduino. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by your site. Now let's have a look. So first thing I'm going to do is site : and then the name of the site, the URL, the web server. We've got 84 results, and right up, and it's been years since I worked on Blogspot, so forgive me, but every page at the moment, the URLs, I'm learning that, the URLs that you've got indexed, they're all just date archive.html. So we don't have any keyword triggers or any keywords basically in the URLs. We've got it in the, let's see, we've got it in some of them. But the first, geez, about the first, let's see, the first, or the 20 most important URLs, as far as Google's concerned, it doesn't have the any keywords in the URLs. They're all archive pages. Also, your page title on your site name, and this may be a function that you can change inside. Or made up expression. I've got to start writing these down. The page titles all start with Arduino basics. So like yesterday when we were talking to Philip about This Is in Chat, he had the brand name at the start of the page title as well. You don't want that because every page starts off the same, and you're using that important keyword property, basically important keyword real estate with your brand name, which you don't need. So I'll go and look at some on-page stuff. So we'll just go to the home page. What would be, if you had to rank for one thing, what would it be? One key phrase. Okay, so at the Arduino, okay. For those who don't know, Arduino is a open source electronics movement. I guess there's probably a better explanation for it. So your H1 at the top of the page is great. It's Arduino basics. Then we've got a date, which is in a H2, which we don't really need the date in a H2. I would prefer that the post on the home page, which is get Arduino data over the internet using jQuery and Ajax, that's formatted as a H3. We really want that as a H2. So when we're talking about the on-page stuff for SEO, what we're looking at is the good document structure, basically. So like you would create a Word document, you might have a title for the document, you might have subheadings, you might have a table of contents. That all still applies in SEO, and Google says, if you read especially the Google News format for formatting your news items, that's a really good way of looking at how to structure a page, because that's essentially what we do. That means that you have to have your heading structures or your heading tags in order. So H1, H2, H3s, and then a H4. So at the moment we've got a H3 and a H4, which are formatted exactly the same. So in this case, Google would most likely ignore those heading tags because they're formatted exactly the same. So we've got get Arduino data over the internet using jQuery, and then we've got description. Yeah. So, and then the ones below it are all descriptions. I don't mind the format. I like the fact that you've got all those subheadings. That's great. But you just got to get them in the right order and get the right formatting done. I won't crawl this because it's on Blogspot. But let me just go back now to and your page title on your home page is Arduino basics. So where do you rank? And look, if you really want to rank for this, I would get onto your own domain, because if you get onto your own domain, you have more control over the actual site and itself and the content, but it'll also get you on a better server, and it will get you out of the noise that tends to be Blogspot. I rarely see Blogspot come up in search these days, but I will just Google Arduino and we'll see. You probably already know where you rank. My favourite shops rank JCar and Alltronics, but not Arduino basics. No, we're not in the top 100. I reckon the best thing you could do right now is get off Blogspot, get onto your own hosted, $10 a month, you'll get reasonable hosting somewhere, and they'll give you a WordPress install to go with it. So I would look at doing that, because even if you go and fix those things that I've just described, you're not going to rank inside Blogspot. That's my opinion. Someone else might have a different opinion. Okay, so Mr. Cycling World. Mr. Cycling World. Mr. Cycling World Review. Yeah, you're welcome. Let me know how you go. But take a measurement of your keyword and traffic from Google. Can you have? I suppose you can have analytics on Blogspot. We've never done it. And then and you always should measure before and after, so you can see what the effect is. I'm sure I don't need to tell you about measurements. You're into Arduino. Now, Mr. Cycling World. Let's have a look here, see what we've got. So once again, we're going to go to Google, and we're going to type in site : just to see what's in the index. We've got 9,850 URLs. How many SKUs do you have? That's, yeah, cycling shop. It's possible. If you can let us know how many SKUs you have. Incidentally, I was watching the tweet stream this morning on State of Search, which is a search conference in the US. And one of the interesting things that's going to be big next year is structured data. And for about 3K, yeah, we've got way too many pages in. Okay, so yeah, let's go and have a look at run a crawler over this. Because roughly your, and you know, 10-20% difference is usually okay, but roughly the pages that Google index should match the number of pages that you have in your sitemap, and should roughly match the amount of SKUs if you're an e-commerce site. If you're not an e-commerce site, it should just roughly match about the number of pages that you think you have. 3,000 to nearly 10,000 though, that's a major difference. So there's a lot of duplication going on, and on that, they were saying at State of Search, Google was saying that there's 100 and yeah, I'm doing that now. We'll find out how many duplicates there are. There's what they are, but Google reckons there's about 120 trillion pages on the web, and 60% of those are duplicates. So you're not in bad company here. It's quite a popular category you're in. Okay, so we're doing a crawl now with Screaming Frog, and yeah, that's way under, because my Screaming Frog crawler is about 10% through, and it says 70 pages. So that's a lot lower even than your 3,000 SKUs, which could mean that all those SKUs aren't available readily through the nav or via the nav. We'll see what, oh, it's 10% now at 100, so we'll see how many we come up with. Got some 302s I'm already seeing. This is the second time this week I've seen this. Yeah, you've got the same issue as troutflies.com, I think it was. What was he on? He was on, don't tell me, CubeCart? Are you on CubeCart? Is that what Mr. Cycling World's on? What the content management system is? Oh man, that's killing you. Okay, this is a major problem that you've got. That's just going to go on and on and on and on and on and on. You've got, I've crawled 260 pages, and half of those, you're on Magento? And half of those, oh man, you've got to get this fixed. We're going to the Magento conference in Sydney tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah. Half of the URLs I've crawled so far are all temporary redirects. These are 302s. So what that means is basically is that the Google bot goes to that link, or the user goes to that link, and then the web server tells the browser, yeah, we've temporarily removed that URL to over here. Now the problem with that is that Google sees that as a bad quality signal, because it doesn't know. And you know, you'll hear things out of Google like, oh, over time we get to understand that the 302 was meant to be a 301, which is a permanent redirect. But you already got yourself, you know, in the poo, basically. So why wait till Google works it out? Just go and fix it. So these are, I haven't seen this with the Magento side. I've only seen this with some of the older style e-commerce systems. But basically, it is your currency codes. So you've got to stop the 302. So every page seems to have currency codes on it, and those links on those pages are temporarily redirecting. So I'm not sure why that's happening, but you need to go in and stop that happening. The other part of the site that's doing it is wish list is doing it when you add product. When you add product to your cart, it looks like it's doing it as well. So this will be where all the duplication is coming from. I'm going to go and see if I can find some of those in Google. So if you want to play along at home, you would go to Google. Inc is what I have to remember. And you go site, mrcyclingworld.com.au, and then you go in URL, Inc at UENC, because that's part of the URL structure of the 302s that I'm looking at. Oh, now I get the Google capture. Oh my God, I can't read these things. I wonder if anyone else has that problem. Is that an N or an I? Sol 1. Oh no, Sol. Oh. Google capture. You suck. Okay. Oh, another one. Obviously I didn't type that one in properly. Okay, so doing that search brings back 11 results. Now chances are Google has dropped them over time because it realizes that they shouldn't be in the index. So chances are you've had a lot more of those. But it's got to do with your shopping cart. The other thing, let me have a look at this. The other thing that, so we're only 30% of the way through the crawl, and I've got and they're adding to it. Oh God, they're adding so fast. I've got nearly a Jesus, sorry. So we've crawled 1,200 URLs, and 800 of them are 302 redirects. Good morning. Man, you've got to fix that before you do anything. Don't worry about anything else. Just go and fix that. The time is 11:18 a.m. So go and fix that. The titles all look nice and descriptive, although some of your description, or was it description tags? Some of your description tags, all of your description tags, by the looks of it, have HTML code in them. So someone stuffed up there. You don't want that. So we've got, greater than, P, less than in your description tags. You don't want that. Your H1s are underdone. In a lot of cases, we'll have share as a H1. We don't want the word share as a H1 on a lot of those pages. That's not a key word for us. But we are now we're actually crawling the real part of the site by the looks of it. So we're 38% of the way through the crawl, and we've still got 1,200 302s out of 1,700 pages. So if this is happening to Google and Google comes to the site, Google isn't going to stick around. So of those 9,000 pages, yeah, go and fix that first. Let me know how you go. Take a measure first, like know what you're ranking for before you fix all these 302s. Just go and get a, you don't have to use Screaming Frog. If you don't want to fork out the 100 quid for Screaming Frog, you can get, I think it's Xenu will tell you, on PC. And, oh good. And on Mac you can get a thing called Integrity Link Checker, both of which have free versions. So now, who was the other one? Someone else dumped their URL in at the start and I missed it. So just drop that in again for us. Any idea how to fix the 302 issue? It's at a number of different levels. So send friend, for instance. Oh no, that's a 200. let's have a look here. It's basically just changing in the code. So you're actually linking. It'll be doing it for a reason based on geography or something like that. Someone's gone, oh, well, if a person comes in from the US, then temporarily redirect them, or if they come in from the New Zealand, temporarily redirect them. So and they're all getting, oh no, not all of them. They're getting, a lot of them though, are getting redirected to /no hyphen root. So yeah, fix that. Now I'm looking for that other. See, this is the thing with tweet me if you still there. This is the thing with Periscope. Like the chat goes on, and it's like, oh, question gone. So if you've got another. If anybody has a domain or a website you want me to have a look at now. Yep, no worries, Reese. But seriously, those 302s, they'll be killing you. We're up to, the crawl's still going. We've crawled 2,500 pages. Well, no, we might as well continue on yours, Reese, if no one else. I can't find that other URL, disappeared. Oh, now we're getting a lot of 301s. So we're at 2,302s now, and we've crawled 2,600 pages. The currency is the main one. What's the other one? And the wish list and product compare is also 302. So all those three areas of your site are 302ing. Yeah, they are. I actually love it when I find things like this because I know that that's going to have a really big impact once you fix that on how Google responds to your site. Yeah, so I actually haven't found any duplicates yet. They'll be there though. The software for PC was Xeno. Hang on, let me find it, and I'll bang a link in Twitter. It's German, and it's a really old site, and it looks as dodgy as hell. But but it's a really old site built by geeks in 1956, I think. Let me have a look. So I'm just going to tweet this. And look, there's probably better ones around. I think, yeah, link check. It's really what you want is a link checker that gives you the header response. So there's probably online ones that that I haven't used, but I've just thrown that link in Twitter. I've messaged it to Reese, but if you want to have a look at that, that's just on my, just follow SEO audit hashtag, and you'll get that. That crawl is still going. We're at 3,700 URLs crawled, of which 2,800 are 302s. So we're not getting anywhere near your cattle dog. Just go and have a look over here. I'll see if there's a. I'm just going to have a look at your URLs in the No, I haven't. I've seen it in CubeCart. I've seen it in ZenCart, but no, yeah, possibly. I'm assuming it's the community edition, but yeah, the good thing about Magento is those things are typically reasonably, quote unquote, easy to fix. In that there's a lot of support around for Magento as opposed to some of the other ones where you just unlike Arduino Basics, I'm not saying you should get off Magento at all, because Magento shouldn't be doing that. But it's not just one area of the site; it's multiple. So, and a lot of people want to go and kill their web developers when I tell them this stuff. But my point is that web developers don't actually know about this stuff. It's like I don't know about the best way to create a calculator for my web page. I don't know. But that's going to be creating a significant problem for your site. I'll just, while we're here, I'll check and see what index. You're asking them to stop Google finding the 302 redirects. So there's a couple of ways that you theoretically could do that. You could add nofollow tags to all those links. You could block Google from all those links in robots.txt. The better option, though, is not to have all those 302 redirects. It'll be some sort of shopping cart plugin or something that is doing it, I think. Well, not with Magento, it's not going to be a shopping cart plugin. It'll be some other sort of plugin that's doing it, a currency plugin, yeah, something like that. And you've basically got to work out what's doing it, number one, and then number two, how do you fix it? So until someone gets in there and has a look, they're probably not going to know. But certainly something that we'd fix straight away. Because what are you at now? We're at. And if I go and have a look at the Google search results again, Mr. And of the 9,800 results, if I just go and look at one, no, they're all okay. So what I tend to do too when I do the site colon search, I go to the very last page of results, and then if it's got repeat the search with the omitted results included, I click on that. Because sometimes that can be a sign or a symptom of here's a whole bunch of other pages that we didn't show you because they're all duplicates. That's not the case in this situation. But here is, oh no, that's all right. So I mean, I love the fact that you're blogging all the time, but it's killing you, that structure of the site. So there was nothing right at the end of the search results. I'm seeing some structured data for some products and not for other products. And structured data is going to be big next year, apparently, for Google. The structured data, for those of you who don't know, is tagging. Oh, cool. Excellent. What plugin was that? Oh, the Google Shopping one. Yeah. So, so tagging basically tags pieces of information on the site to give them context, if you like. So like pricing, or if something's in stock, so then Google will show it in the search results as what's called rich snippets. Really essential for e-commerce sites. And Google will be telling you this in Google Search Console as well. Thanks for all the hearts, Magento hearts. Google will be telling you this in Google Search Console under HTML suggestions, and you will find that there will be a lot of duplicates probably in there. So far we're 50% through according to the crawler, which is 5,395 pages, of which 3,900 are 302 redirects. So we've crawled about 1,500 pages. Yep. Oh, no worries. Can you tell me where my cable is in Somerville? Internet in Somerville sucks. That's where I live. It's in the country. Now, anybody else want a URL looked at? Website? Audited in front of everyone? In front of the whole world? What I will do is post I was going to post a link to a video, but I don't think I will right now. Anybody got another site? Yeah, do it. Let me know how it goes. Be interested. Dub. I'll have a look at dub, will I? Is that the entire URL? Oh, okay, sorry. Thought you've been funny. Okay. .com.au, I'm assuming. cablelocations.com.au. Oh, you gotta get a blog happening. Gotta get a blog happening, Grant. Just a way to communicate with your audience. God, I hate these Google captures. OPH. I got one once that was in Chinese. Oh, what the heck? I don't even know where those characters are on my keyboard. G'day, Harvey. Okay, we're looking at geelongcablelocations.com.au. I'm going to stop the crawl of Mr. Cycling World because it will probably never end. It will be full of 302s. So what I've done, for those of you playing at home, I actually haven't used the dub for this. I've gone site : geelongcablelocations.com.au, and I'm starting the crawl, and it's telling me I've got 91 pages, and this is really big, this dial before you dig stuff. Didn't realise how big it was, but there's ads all over Melbourne radio for it at the moment. And it's not the government. So there you go. Okay, so seeing some common problems here that we see with the way WordPress has been installed, and once again, you can fix this up in Yoast. We saw some of these yesterday actually. A lot of the images on your posts are getting indexed at a separate page. So I'll just message this to you so you can understand what I mean. I'll check the link first. Oh, okay. So that looks like it's been fixed, and I'll show you what I mean. This is a URL that has actually, it's actually in the index. And it's a thing in WordPress where you used to have like a page that would be generated if you attached an image. Problem with that is that then that page then can be found when you don't want it to be indexed by Google. So that one I've just sent you via Twitter is actually indexed in Google, but now it's a 404. So chances are someone's come along and fixed it at some point, but no one's gone and removed those old URLs from Google, which you need to do, because if they're still there in Google and you fix the problem, it means that Google doesn't know you fixed the problem. So you need to go and remove those, and the way that you do that is with the remove URL tool in Google Search Console. The other problem that you've got is that all the tags are getting indexed and crawled. We don't want tag pages getting indexed and crawled, and you can fix that, stop that happening with the Yoast plugin for WordPress. Let's see what else we got here. So the attachment pages would be potentially a Panda quality signal. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's they're the main index things. Let me just see if Screaming Frogs picked up anything. Screaming Frogs crawled about 181 URLs, of which we've got a bunch of 301s. So we've got a bunch of on-page 301s where the link on the page for a lot of them. So on page 301s we've got 65. So the reason we try to avoid on-page 301s is because it's not good for the user. Google won't necessarily give you a penalty, but we have found in instances where a site has quality issues, if we fix up the on-page 301s, this is where you've got the old link still on the page, but you're actually redirecting that somewhere else now. You need to change that old link so it is actually pointing at the new destination, not redirect it. A lot of them, though, are from what we call the WordPress short link. So that, to me, looks like there was you didn't have... Oh, sorry. I'll do that again. A lot of the pages are, a lot of the links on the page, about how many? 65 of them out of 180 are permanently redirected. So, and they're what I'm seeing, a lot of the links that are on the page are actually the WordPress short link. That's all right. So the WordPress short link is, say, JohnCableLocations.com.au/?P equals and then a number. And that's the actual real link inside of WordPress. You've got a lot of those actually on the page. So chances are maybe when you set up your site initially, you didn't have the search engine friendly permalinks set up or something. And so when you were putting stuff around the site, it actually just had the old WordPress short link. And now a lot of those are still there. So you need to fix up those on page 301s, add the no index tag to the tag pages and also category pages. Let's have a look. See, and you've got other 301s as well. I'll do a screen cap for you. Give you an idea of what's going on. I'll look at the on-page stuff too. Geelong cable location. Oh, cool. Excellent. Thanks, mate. What am I doing, Bazzy? I am giving people reviews of their site for SEO. So I'm having a look at the site saying, you know what, you should probably fix this. Let's see, where are my screenshots? I just did a screenshot. That's it. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Nearly sent you client sensitive data. So I'll look here. What time is it? It's 11:41. There it is, that one there. That one there. Okay. So do we, Bazzy. So do we. So I've just shot you a screen cap of some of those 301s. So you can have a look at that and get an idea of what I'm talking about. And I'll give you a link where, like, just one of them. They're all getting linked from all around the site. So you've had the phone beep. Look, that's going. Yeah. So that is certainly something to fix there. Now let's go and have a look at your titles. Look pretty good. It's your page titles. Well, it's just, the only thing I would say here is that I don't know why you've got those old short links inside of WordPress on your blog. John Capital. I don't know why you've got those old permalinks on your blog, so you need to work that one out first. Certainly the tags and the no indexing of the tags and the no indexing of categories and the removal of the URLs from Google. You don't need to be a programmer to do that. You certainly don't need to be a programmer to do that. I just don't know about fixing those on-page, those 65 on-page 301s. And in the grand scheme of things, those 65 on-page 301s are not high priority. So I have crawled 181 pages. Google has crawled 91. We've got 65 redirects. So we've got 30 pages missing thereabouts. So there is something good to see that your HTTPS. Okay, now we're going to go have a look at the on-page structure. So the on-page structure, let's have a look. No. Okay, you're on page structure. We've got your logo. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And that's the thing with SEO. It's not about phew, I'm ranking #1 for that key phrase. It's yay, I'm ranking #1 for that key phrase and a bunch of other phrases that surround it. So you might target, a dozen sort of, well, maybe 10 core phrases, but it's everything else that comes from that, all the other phrases around that. So your on-page stuff. So the home page, you've got the logo in a H1, which is doing nothing for you, and that's a designer thing. I keep asking developers and designers, why do you do that? And typically it's because the theme was just built that way. I don't know why you would have an image as a H1. It doesn't do anything, right? Then you've got two H2s. We've got Geelong Cable Locations H2 and Underground Services Detection H2. So we should have only one H2 like that. So basically, once we, getting back to good document structure again, if you think about it from a document, why would you have two headings after one another? Normally you would have one heading, some information about that, and then another heading and some information about that. you might consider even. I'm assuming they're two key phrases that you're trying to rank for. That if I have a look at your, and typically what we like to do, can't always do it, but we like to have your page title match the first H1 on the page, like an exact match. I'm just looking at your code here, and code says good that we're using Cloudflare. I like that. It's going to keep us nice and quick. Got canonicals. Yes, they're all right. Canonicals are good. Geelong cable locations is the title, I think. Let me have a look. I'm assuming you're number one for Geelong cable locations. I just haven't checked. So the page title, I'm going to have to search for it. Yeah, thought so. Okay, Geelong cable locations. Yeah, so, well, the next tip is, how do you get all those other phrases like underground services detection, if that is a popular phrase that you want to rank for. I would certainly have a target page about it, and I would have a target page about the sorts of underground services, location detection stuff that you do. I would put a menu item in that top menu called underground services detection and explain all the services. We've got the video there as well. Where is that hosted? Is that a Vimeo? Is Vimeo? Oh, Wistia. Oh, Wistia. Okay. Normally, not a big deal. Normally, I'd put video up on YouTube, only because I can get then a backlink from my channel, which is a follow backlink, and it opens you up to another audience too. A lot of people look for how-tos on YouTube, right? Well, I would do some more videos. I do have the video. Oh, okay, cool. All right, good. So any idea how many pages you think you have? What I'm going to have a look at now, I'm just going to have a look at the oh, hang on. That's interesting. You've actually got the no index tag on. Yeah, you've got the no index tag on your tag pages. So that's good. Where is it? So having the no index tag on your tag pages, it's hard to say, is actually what you want. No, so what I looked at was Google Index. So the Google Index had crawled and indexed the tag pages. So it looks like this has been done retrospectively, like someone's added the no index tag later. Or maybe it wasn't on all the correct. So you would need to go in and remove them manually because Google hasn't picked it up yet. Or you could go and resubmit each one of them separately to get recrawled, and then Google finds it. But oh, okay, that's why. Yeah. So normally we would either go and remove them or force Google to go and recrawl them so it understands that it's got a no index tag on it. And you've got your H2 is the same on every page too, by the looks of it, on most pages. your H2 is basically duplicated across the pages. You want to avoid doing that. So you've got a H2 which is specialist in locating, exposing underground cables and pipes. Yeah, you could do it as an image perhaps. I'm just looking at these no index pages. Just want to make sure we haven't got any in there that shouldn't actually be no indexed. Yeah, we've got a lot of no indexes here. We've got okay, no, that's good. They're meant to be no indexed. So we're no indexed. We've got we've got 31 no indexed. Let's make sure they're all good. Yes, it looks like they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're all there. You know, indexes are good, but Google hasn't realised it yet, so you've got to go back and tell them. I'm going to record the show. Unless anybody's got any questions. So if you're new here, do a weekly show, upload to YouTube, talk about SEO stuff, get syndicated out to a few places. No worries, mate. Tell your friends. I'm from China. Half my staff are from China. From Guangdong province, I think. A lot of them, anyway. Well, half of my staff, so a quarter of my staff. All right, so hello. So we're about to record a show. We're about to do an SEO show. Let's go. Get everything ready. And okay. So today I'm going to talk about the State of Search conference in the US. There's been some interesting things that are coming out. I've been primarily watching Jennifer Slegg of the SEM Post, which is an excellent resource if you want to keep up with what's going on in the SEM world. The SEMpost.com. Okay, let's get these tweets right. Okay, here we go. Hope I've done enough research on this. I think I have. For featured snippets, state question either explicitly or implicitly on the page and answer the question. Interesting. Interesting. Some interesting stuff coming out of Google and State of Search. The hashtag State of Search on Twitter if you want to go and read through all of those notes. Someone at the State of Search conference downloaded 8 gig of data during the conference. People weren't happy. All right. Here we go. All right, I'm going to get off Periscope now. Thanks for coming, the last person there, and we'll see you tomorrow.